So there is a list of questions for the panel, but I hope you don't mind if I freestyle it a little bit. So would you mind introducing yourselves? Like, how did you end up in community management, the hell of Web3?
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you for freestyling. I'm Andrej. I've built a design firm, an online native design firm, kind of like a collective. So we don't have any contracts, but we focus on interesting work. So like the community basically centers around if there's interesting work that needs to be done in regard to validating use cases or designing interfaces, then that's what we aggregate together or aggregate around. And that was my basically starting point into the Ethereum community or the Ethereum ecosystem.
Are you still doing that?
Sorry?
Are you still doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so my name is Zuzanna. Currently, I work at Zero, where we are focused more on B2B angle, but we help other projects build community through encouraging them to use their reputation scoring based on blockchain behavior. But I personally have been in crypto since like 2020 and been just freelancing marketing, so been in a lot of communities since then.
Hi, I'm Vanina, and I'm currently the head of marketing at Neon EVM. I got into crypto 10 years ago by chance, came in for the coincidence and stayed for the vibes and the money. So here I am. At the beginning, I used to be a marketing team of one, and I used to handle everything on my own, including community management. And today, fortunately, I manage the community managers. So I still have a very clear view into communities, and I hope I'm not going to disappoint with my participation on the panel.
So you're the community manager supreme.
And I'm Marco, also known as Cryptogallo in Web3, and I don't know if I can say that I'm community manager of Urbe.it, that is a community in Rome. I am, because I didn't decide that.
He's the mother. He is the mother who runs the entire thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I've organized events for all my business career, before in public institutions and for politics in Rome, and then I jumped into crypto because a lot of my friends were in crypto, so I say, oh, that's cool. And at the end, I ended to organize events in for the Urbe.it community, like It Rome or all the events that we organize, and now I'm community manager. I don't know why, but I am.
So you got into crypto with peer pressure, and now you're a community manager by peer pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
What's next, heroin?
I don't know. Let's see.
All right, so the first question, I think the most obvious one, how do you build a community? Because it's kind of like, it's easy to join a community, but what does it take to build a community?
Yeah, I think building is an interesting thing. I see it more like as emergence from complexity science. If you have looked into it, like how ants and colonies form, I think there's always something that people kind of aggregate around, and then you just capture the specific paths, or like you create paths for being able to do more of that. So like it's not so much as like asking people to do things, but rather like observing what are they interested in and providing the space for it. Or like curation is an interesting example too, when our like gallerists curate what should come into an art gallery. It's like building out the space so people can be a better version of themselves. So that's at least my approach in terms of work, like in Deep Work, which is the design collective. It's mostly about just keeping people up to date with what's going on, with what the larger scale observations are, strategic observations, and then kind of like providing opportunities for collaboration. So these things I would say are, in my case, the most prominent.
So I would say it's building a system in which users can be around one topic which interests all of them, but also building it in a way which tells who is the most valuable contributor, and that may vary between the projects. For example, running protocol, we want someone who has the most money and can give it to others, or borrows the most and then repairs that. So we need to like figure out which are these specific things for each protocol, and then build a system which intensifies it, and also create vibes and culture.
I agree very much with the curation part, but I think that this comes at a slightly later stage. You kind of need to drag people into your community and then give them a reason to stay. In my career, I've always been a fan of the quick and dirty method, which is build a funnel that is big enough. So attract a huge number of people, and then have the people of value stick around, so that you can build a self-sustainable system. So for example, you can start by doing an airdrop, launching a token, doing quests, and this way you attract a lot of people, a bunch of people into your community who are just mercenaries. They're not there for the project that you're doing. They're not there for the technical conversations that you're going to have, but you get them in, you get them through the door, and then with good community management and with good conversation curation, you give people a reason to stick around and to stay and to start contributing to the community actively and contributing to the conversation and starting the conversation by themselves.
For me, it's like I don't have the duty to organize a community. Like our community is, we can say that is a grassroots community coming from the interest of a bunch of people in Rome interested in like Web3 stuff. So for us, it's like we started like with having a beer or eating something all together, and then we scale up doing like events and all these kind of things. But it was like very, I don't know, it was not easy, but it was like it happened from nowhere. Because the most important thing I think is that you don't have to create a big community, but you have to select a lot of the people that are really needed for that community. Because like for Urbe.it is our value, one of our value is that we talk about Web3, not crypto. So we don't want to onboard people that only think about speculation, tokens, or things like that. But we want to onboard people only that are really passionate on that topic. So it's like, it's like we are more interested in people that can have a meaningful conversation with us, talking about tech and what does it mean. And I think that's the most interesting way to onboard people is with pizza and beer. That's actually all that I said before. Cancel it, and after that, if you offer a free meal for the people, they will jump in.
So the point of all of this is advocate to party.
Yeah, but it's actually a very interesting point that you raise here. It's my personal observation that some of the most amazing communities that I'm in are actually micro communities. They're not huge. You don't have like a bajillion of people in them. It's just a select group of people who are really, really dedicated to a topic. The thing is, though, the vanity metrics. We're all so stuck into VCs looking at community sizes and basically forcing us into building those huge dormant communities, and that's one of the things that I personally struggle with, but it's part of the game.
Unfortunately, it is. But then, when you do have this bajillion people community, how the hell do you manage that without like straying away into this soulless Discord chat?
You don't need to manage them because most of them are dormant. They do not participate in the discussion. They don't really care about that. They're just there because you promised them something. You gave them, I don't know, as I said, you gave them an airdrop. You gave them a slice of pizza. There was a reason for them to join. They came, they got what they got in for, and then they were like, oh yeah, screw it. I'm just going to mute that server and, continue with my life.
So the bajillion people communities just don't work.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
Anyone here dares to disagree? Hot take. Let's go.
It's like that don't work if they are highly incentivized, like with okay, it's okay, but also money is important. We know if they are highly incentivized, maybe they can work. But when the incentivize stops, only the people that really care remain. So yeah, I think that we used to put on our decks and everything that we had like 800 people on Discord. That's nice. But I think that is then we understood that it was more meaningful to say that we have 30 software developers, freelancers that join the community. And I think that is more valuable than 800 people that maybe 600 of them don't show on Discord even more.
Then you mentioned metrics, and well, I think this is where we need to address the core question. And before that, you had something to say, no? You reached for the microphone. Nope. Okay. Okay, fair enough. So the core question is, what is a community? What does it mean to you? When you hear community, like, what do you think? Because you said people are staying in the communities for incentives, but I don't think that's how communities should work. For me, a community is such a warm word. So let's get the ground running on what is a community.
Just big communities is incentivized. Small communities are like...
Then what do they run on? Everyone give me 3 words on what do you associate community with?
Shared value and shared interest in a project, because at the end of the day in crypto we do not just market to people and users as we do in Web2. We also market to people who are just in it for the idea and they just like to support us. So yeah, shared values and shared ideas.
That's actually the same.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
I would also just add to that kind of a vision, same or a shared vision of the future. I think a community becomes active and vibrant when there's progress towards something, and that something is like based on values and a shared vision.
So how is a community different from cults or religions?
It's not.
Okay, another take from this panel. It's not that different from religions or cults.
They are communities too, right? Yeah.
So are there any parts of cult culture or religious culture that are not negative that you would like to implement in communities and Web3?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like what?
The charming leader, the community
leader.
builders. Yeah, the community builders and the moderators and the people who rally everybody up and are like, hey, this conversation has been dead for 17 minutes, let's revive it. You need a charismatic person in your Discord or in your Telegram to be there, act as a point of contact between your project and your people, provide them feedback, provide them information about
The hype person.
what's happening. And yeah, exactly, basically a cheerleader who is just there to be like, think about that. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into, and that's a very peculiar phenomenon. Bingo, online bingo chat rooms. I know. I know it's insane.
Loving the segue.
Before joining crypto, I used to work in gambling, so I have.
Wow, this is
It's very similar. Very
pivot,
similar.
really?
And I used to observe online bingo chat rooms where you would think that the usual person that you would see there is just your regular grandma exchanging grandchildren pictures and recipes and all of that. Surprisingly young men who were either bored or lonely. And
just looking for someone to talk to.
they were just looking for somebody to talk to. And at the end of the day, when you look at the online bingo industry, people basically buy cards for the bingo game and they don't even open the cards. Like, the cards are played automatically. And if you win something, it just gets credited to your account, but nobody really cares about that. People join in for the conversation, for the moderator, for the person who is there to be like, hey, what did you watch on TV last night? Tell us about it. Share your lived experience.
So crypto and Web3 communities were created. Actually, no, crypto was created because people just needed someone to talk to and have an excuse to it.
If you examine some of the most vibrant communities, you would see that yes, a bunch of the talk there is crypto related and project related, but also there's a lot of like interpersonal communication going on. And if you see the communities that are thriving, these are the communities where people build friendships with each other.
I mean, if I know something, I know Orbe ETH is actually just a giant group of friends.
Yeah, exactly. This is like one of our most important like strengths, but also is one of our I think is problems that we are a very big group of friends. I think that 3 or 4 people from the Urbedotti community, I know them from 15 years and a bunch of them from 10 years. And the people that I met like from 3 years ago when we established the community, I think that they're like my friends for a longer time. And also, yeah, I completely agree with you because the people that we have onboarded, we onboarded a lot of people from the first ETH Rome in 2023. And but they were not joining they were joining of course for the prizes and whatever, but they stay for the community because they became our friends, and we share with them a lot of interest about Web3, how to what to do at the next hackathon, where the ecosystem is going or whatever, but we also share a little bit of our personal life, and we became friends, so it's easier to engage with them. But I think it's like it's difficult because if you are trying to onboard more people, if you create a close group of friends, it's like it's difficult to engage with them because maybe there are a lot of I don't know, hidden things or like some jokes around that maybe a person outside of the community can't understand or maybe don't want to understand or whatever. So it's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah, I think also some of the communities in crypto don't have to revolve around projects necessarily. Like we have Bera buddies, which I identify with, and we're just girls in crypto, and basically that's it. But also we get some alpha or some incentives because of that. So yeah, that's also how communities can work.
Yeah, Barry Baddies is actually an excellent example of a community because it's just based on fun and being girly, and and it's so powerful because once you're a Barry Baddie, you're in it for life. Did you have anything else to say? No. What?
Holding the microphone.
All right. Well, I spaced out. I forgot the questions, but I have a fun fact. What is the difference between cult and religion in the United States? Like, what has to happen for a cult to actually become a religion?
It's just a guess, but probably you have like number of people signed up.
No.
Okay.
It's much darker than that.
Is it the legality of it? Like, do you have to have
No.
like a group suicide to
Nope.
be classified as
Not group suicide. The leader has to die.
Oh,
So technically, we don't know if Satoshi's alive or not. So we could consider, crypto religion, and maybe that, less taxes, huh?
that's actually fascinating, and it's also making me reconsider my career aspiration of being a cult leader.
So gambling, crypto, cults.
I mean, I just need big pharma and like tobacco to secure my place, in the afterlife. But I just wanted to build upon what Zuzanna said, because it's actually a very interesting thing. When I started out 10 years ago, the only communities that we had were the communities that were revolving around projects. That was it. And for a very long time, that was the case. That was, even if you had like a smaller niche community, it would be a group of friends talking about something very niche and exchanging inside jokes. But lately, I would say that in the last couple of years, I would say that there's a boom of, I don't even know how to classify them, but like topic clusters that communities spring from. Like, for example, we have marketing cabals, we have developer communities that are thriving. We've got communities for designers, UX researchers, and Bera buddies. I'm sure there are psychopath communities on Telegram.
Web3 privacy now, it is basically a cyberpunk community.
Yeah.
So when we say community, I imagine pizza in real life interactions. What do you feel like about online communities? It's tough to not integrate, but like interact with them. Do you have any tips on how to interact online and make, human presence more real? Maybe video calls, or maybe some, opening questions and stuff like that? Werbe is not online, so
I'm sorry. I just feel like I'm hogging the conversation. I apologize for that, but also I'm not sorry. So and I would say that giving flexibility is a very big thing. Like I'm all it's all fun and games to have like online calls and all of that. But first of all, coordination is a bitch. Second of all, it's very demanding. You've got people from different time zones. What I would say and what I like to do is when I join a new community, just scroll up a little bit, see what people are talking about, and just jump into the conversation. If you have something to contribute, of course, like if you don't have anything to say about it and you're just there for, I don't know, for another reason, then just, it's okay to not say something as well. But yeah, just participate. Like my observation from marketing communities, for example, and I sit on a bunch of Telegram groups and Discord servers for marketers, is that there's a lot of value that these communities provide, even though they're online and they're async. But there's a lot of value because I know that anytime I struggle with something, I hit a blocker, I could jump in and be like, hey guys, I'm having this issue. Has anybody else struggled with that? Do you have a solution for that? And usually a bunch of people would jump in and be like, hey, this is what I did when I had the same problem. Or you would just go in and be like, hey, I'm looking for a warm contact at this company, or has anybody seen a drop in their Twitter reach? And then, bam, there you go. You have a conversation all of a sudden.
This also reminds me of the fact that people love to argue online or prove that they're right. So you can always use little clickbaits.
A hot take is always a winning take. Let's be honest.
What I would add is to give community some things to do regardless of the time zone. So I really liked the thing Lagrange did recently. So basically they launched a kind of mini game in which you were talking to a chat with a bot or not, and you didn't know if it's bot or real person. And based on that, you got an airdrop on how many points you got, but it was somehow innovative. So yeah, I like this.
Was the bot asking questions or?
Yeah, you had like normal conversation, and at the end, after 5 minutes or so, you had to say, was it a bot or was it a real person? And the struggle to answer that was real.
It's like a full-on Turing test over there.
Yeah, but I feel like these kind of activities are something that keeps your project in mind of community members, that they want to prove that they will be right this time.
Bouncing back to online or not online communities. So offline, so online, if somebody is not aligning with your values or being a bit spammy or just annoying, you can always ban them from the community. What do you do when there's just this person that it's like, they don't necessarily align, but they didn't do anything wrong? How do you handle the situation where, you can't really tell them to leave, but also you could, but it would also cause this, oh, but why would you do that? Or, how do you navigate those conflicts?
Again, I just walk away. I literally just walk away.
But if it's in your community.
Like if somebody's like super annoying in a conversation, I would tell them why I disagree with them, and I would be like, look, I don't have anything else to contribute to this conversation, so I'm just going to make my exit now. Thank you very much.
But it's your event.
Even if it's an event, though, like you don't have to I get it. There's a very thin line between being radically honest with people and providing honest feedback and being an asshole. It's very, very thin line, and I know that from experience, sadly. But sometimes you just got to be honest and open with the people and be like, hey, look, the values of this community, the values that get us together in this room are this and this and this. Like, we're all here because we think that Ethereum is for everyone, right? This is the whole point of like the point of gathering us together at this event. And if you're only here to shit on Ethereum and tell us how bad Ethereum is, then this is not your group of people. Read the room and maybe, I don't know, leave. You can always invite people to leave. I don't know why we don't do that more often, but you can always do that.
This is actually excellent. I've never thought of that before. Anyone has experience with DAOs here?
I wanted to answer the before question because it's like that was a good question that we had before opening our Web3 space physical space that we have a hub in Rome, a co-working space that, thanks to Akasha, that is our sponsor, is completely free to everyone that wants to jump in. So we say, okay, but what if there is someone that's coming in only for like having a desk, work from there, and don't care about what we do or what we are doing or whatever. And I said actually it's going to be like, I don't know, organically, but it's like if there is someone that doesn't share our values, or maybe is not interested in what we are doing, he will go away by himself. Just because why you have to go in a physical space where you don't have to talk with people because you don't share value, you will go away. And actually that it happened. So I think it's very organically, and of course, if they are like shilling and talking shit about something, we can kindly ask him to go away, but it never happened. I hope that it will never happen, but I think that is, it will happen by itself if someone is not aligned.
So I didn't get a very positive DAO response over here, so we might not touch on that. But what is the most unexpected thing that came out of running a community? It could be something positive, it could be something negative, it could be, a fun life or death experience, or just, a wonderful connection you made. I think it's on this mic.
Oh.
Yeah, I can start. It's not crypto related, like directly, but I met my fiance through community. Yeah, so basically we met at ETH meetup. So yeah, that's what happens when you attend crypto event. Yeah.
It's nice that it's a very positive experience. And by the way, so I met this guy a couple of weeks ago, or a week. Time is a concept, anyways. At some point, and he had a deck of cards on him, and he was showing magic tricks. And I think that's an excellent way to bring people more into like engaging thing. And do you have anything to say about that, or maybe he can pull out the deck of cards?
Come on Saturday, 28th, at I think it's 10 a.m. or something as a talk. Yeah, I'll show some magic too. But my thesis and how it relates to community is that specifically Ethereum or Web3 technology is very, very unique in a sense that it can allow us to create very unique experiences that bind and restore our society by supporting how we interact with each other, and whether it's like through payments or through through like non-transferable tokens or encryption. There's a lot of ways how that can shape our society in a constructive way, which we have, for the most part, not done with technology.
Where does the magic come in?
I think it's the kind of, I don't know if I'm curious about your experience. To me, it's kind of like this feeling of being part of a community that is connecting, like historically. Sorry?
Magic things?
No, I think so. Historically, magic used to be a symbol for controlling nature, but as part of a community. So like everyone was involved in it. It was not just like, hey, here's a rabbit out of a hat, or like here's a card trick. It was not this. Right. Back to your cult idea. But it was a very kind of like connecting experience in villages or like communities before even the emergence of society. And I think that sensation that we can have as part of a community that used to be very local and like relevant to a small village can be scaled to a more global feeling. I don't know, what do you think?
I agree with you. I agree with you completely because, you know, at the end of the day, magic doesn't work on its own. You can't do a magic trick for yourself by yourself, right? That doesn't. It's the community that needs to be there. You need the audience, the participants, to be able to perform the magic trick. And I also agree that if we look back historically, it's always that sense of belonging, and that need. We are genetically and evolutionarily programmed to look for that support system and to build that support system. It takes a village. And it particularly takes a village in today's day and age when we're all stuck behind a computer screen in our apartments, and sometimes, if you're lucky enough, a co-working space where you see other human beings on a daily basis, but maybe not every day. And we're losing that sense of belonging. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, the whole, like, humanity is going into that direction, but also it brings us back, and it makes us want that sense of want that sense of belonging and being a part of something bigger, something beyond yourself.
So, what's the weird, lovely, horrifying, crazy thing that came out to you out of community management?
Well, one of the things is that, similarly to what Zuzanna shared, I met a group of wonderful, wonderful women in crypto who are based in my city. And we met at a conference, and then we started a Telegram chat, and we now meet for brunch every other week. And that's amazing, you know, to have this supportive group of women who understand your super niche jokes. Because all of your other friends are like, no, we can't with you. No. The most surprising thing, though, that kind of, you know, meeting new people and establishing human connection, that's kind of expected. The unexpected thing is when you create a monster, when your community becomes sentient and it's out of your hands, it's uncontrollable. And it can go both ways. It can go in a very positive way. You can create a community where you don't need to have mods anymore because people are self-moderating and, you know, they're being nice to each other and keeping the conversation going. And sometimes it just goes the other way and you have to nuke a community because it has become so toxic that that's the only way. I've had to do that once.
Community, yeah, I was gonna ask.
Oh, yeah.
Spoken from experience.
Literally, again, like one of the projects that I worked for in 2017, I think, we had a huge Telegram community. It was ginormous. And people came in for the ICO and the monitored, like, the financial opportunity, and when it didn't pan out exactly the way they expected, like they didn't become bajillionaires overnight. It became ugly very, very quickly. And at one point, it was unmanageable. We had 6 community managers, I think, running the chat and trying to control the chat 24/7. And at one point, I was like, you know what, this is just not worthy. And I don't know if you know that, but you can delete a Telegram chat, even if it's 40,000 people big, or, you know. So we did that. And we literally nuked the community. We said, hey, this is not working. This is your last day. Say your goodbyes, because tomorrow this community does not exist anymore. And we killed it, and we started fresh. And that was the best thing we ever did.
What were the reactions?
I don't know. I just, I dropped the bomb and I left.
Given anymore.
Like, honestly, you gotta, like, if you start caring about the reactions of the people, and if you start caring about what they sing, what they say and what they think, it's not gonna end well for you. You're gonna lose your sleep over that. And crypto is toxic enough as it is. So you just drop the bomb and you leave, and that's it.
I want to hear about that story a bit later after the panel. Marko, what's the weirdest thing that came out to you from communities?
I don't know, but the weirdest part is, like, last year we changed, like, the direction of the community. Before it was, like, very grassroots, and then we decided to scale, so to do more events, engage with more sponsors. Okay. So before that we have done only events that we really care about, like something we have a lot of people that are working on base, so we have done before some workshop with base. People were really passionate about it. So we had like our first gathering around a sponsor event, like a afternoon of deep diving in a sponsor tech, and a lot of people were talking shit about that. Okay. And so I said, "Oh, this is going to be a mess," because okay, they are not giving a lot of money. The expectations are not very high. So let's see what is happened. And then I said to a community member, "Oh, can you handle the workshop on this tech?" And he handled the workshop. They started to talk about this new tech. They started to engaging about that. And they started to contact the developers of this new protocol and saying, "Oh, you have this bug, you have this, you have that." And also at the end of the day, they were starting to think what we can build on top of this protocol. Like, I'm always amazed about software developers, really, because I don't understand them. But yeah, I think that is yeah, exactly. But yeah, that is the most amazing thing, because even though they didn't care about something in particular, if they connect with tech and they started to think about that, it grows automatically. They were not paid to do that. They were not incentivized to do that. They were only around a desk for 3 hours. Because they wanted to do, and also because I offered them a lot of food, of course. But then
I'm telling you, the mother of Orba eats.
Yeah.
Always with the pizza with you.
Yeah, exactly. But really, they started to give feedbacks. They started to do what was the event meant to do, without not pushing on that side. So that was amazed me.
That's lovely. And I think our time is. Did you want to say something? No. I think our time is slowly wrapping up. So we still have a bit of time for some questions. Anybody have any questions from the audience? By the way, next time we should call this panel community gossips, not management. Yes. Yeah, that is something that would be really cool.
Organize the community gossip community.
Yes, just to share the gossips. Okay, so let me just move a bit so I can see the questions. So number one, when was the last time you had to manage conflict within your community, and what happened there? When just suggesting somebody leaves maybe didn't work out that well. Let's hear some goss.
Just last week. Right now at Neon EVM, we have an active bootcamp for Solidity developers. And one of the guys who's actually a really good developer, but he's not the first one in the leaderboard, was complaining about the way we award points.
What did you do to him?
He was very unhappy because we allow people, I mean, you get points. Sorry, I'm not trying to show, but I just need to give you a little bit of context. You get points not just by, submitting your assignments and your homework in the bootcamp, but you also get points if you share on social, for example, and there's a cap on those points, but still you get points. And that guy didn't realize that you can get extra points by sharing on social and shilling on Twitter and doing all that. So he got really unhappy. And he felt that he was cheated. So it was a very productive discussion. And he was not happy because we refused to award him extra points. He did bring a lot of people to the bootcamp, though. So what we did is, and I think this is actually happening right now, maybe, or it just finished, we just invited him to an AMA. We were like, hey, we appreciate what you're doing for the community. We want to highlight you to our community. We're going to have an AMA with you so that you can share about your experience, what you think about the bootcamp, and maybe encourage more people to join. And weirdly enough, that was sufficient for him to shut up, and we didn't have to kick him out.
That was good, but also it turned conflict into publicity. Because, if conflict is already there, you might as well navigate it in public and bring some new people in, or stir up some shit that will also probably bring new people in.
I'm going to be honest with you. This could go either way. This could go, and again, I'm here now, so I haven't checked with my team yet, so I don't know what happened at the AMA. But right after this panel, I'm either gonna go into like firefighter mode and do damage control, or I'll go get myself a drink to celebrate.
Yeah, that's the life of a community manager here. What about you guys? Any conflicts that you had to manage or navigate, apart from the last one with the?
I haven't got really anything to share, like from recent times.
Okay, let me move on to the next question. Also step away because I can hear the mics syncing up. Wait, no, I'm in the wrong position here. What should come first, a group of people with shared values vibing together, or a project company trying to rally a group of people around their product? So the chicken or the egg?
Well, I would say that the most successful company are born within that group of people, and then they just bring others who think the same.
So when are we getting Urba East products?
Never. If not, the cookie will collapse.
Oh, Urba East Bakery. Yeah, pizzeria, that would be a good one. Yeah, so the community would collapse. So maybe both. Or just experiment, have fun with it.
I think it co-evolves. Like, it's just like people like hanging out together, doing stuff, and then what's the product? It's like that emerges from the community vibing together.
But also, we're talking about communities as if they're something static. They're not. They're an evolving organism. You basically experiment and you give it a try, and if something doesn't work out, then scrape it and move on. If it does, replicate it until it stops working. So I would say that both approaches could work. You can have a company or a project that builds a successful community, and with that experimentation manages to keep that community vibrant. Or you can have a community of boot campers who get together and come to you, and they're like, hey, we don't want to submit individual homework. Can we do a group project? And then we're like, yeah, go for it. Let's do that.
And that's how the TV show Community started. Let's look at the next question. Sorry. Looking back, what was the most effective moments that you experienced in successfully onboarding new users into your communities?
I did a CoinMarketCap airdrop. Seriously though, like I needed to boost up the community numbers because of our investors. They were unhappy with the number of community members. And I just did a CoinMarketCap collab for an airdrop, brought in like 30,000 new people to the community. Did they add value to the community? No, of course not. They were shit community members, but it did the trick.
Yeah, I had similar experience with Telegram mini apps, where you could just promote your project and you got like nice numbers there.
I want to quickly comment because we received a lot of good feedback on our onboarding. We have a documentation of how everything works because a lot of centers around like, designing products or like design processes, user research processes. So in the beginning of our collective as a kind of productive entity, like as a firm, we just wrote down how everything works and just explained it to people online. So the first thing would be they just go to our documentation and familiarize themselves with everything. And the next step is basically finding an expert who is already doing the work and buddying up with them and working together. And that was like kind of a seamless onboarding that people really liked. If you want to check it out, it's at deepwork.network, and at the very top there's like documentation or something. It depends because we just created it over time. Like we always like bit by bit expanded it into what it is now. So it looks like a lot, but it's actually like kind of just taking down notes of what people are asking, and then you just like putting it into one place so that they know, and then making sure that it's that's staged. Yeah, if anyone wants to build cool AI bots, here's a product idea.
For us was and it is actually also Ethereum. So the moments when we all gather around on events and all the people from Italy and outside Italy comes to us to gather with us, build with us, and so that is like the most effective, the event that is most effective for onboarding new people and also strengthen the community.
So international events, international pizza events. Okay.
Trapizzino.
Trapizzino. I actually mentioned it in the talk that I just did.
Nice. If you don't know, you have to come to it Rome 2025.
See, again, the best food promotion ever. Okay. How do you approach dev communities versus retail user communities differently? Any best practices to share? Speaking of developers being a cult of their own.
I will tell a little bit about dev community because I don't know about retail user community. For dev community, you don't have to bother them. You don't have to speak with them. You don't have to do anything.
Don't look them in the eyes.
No, don't do anything. If they do something, that's good. If you try to do something, that's not working actually. So yeah, that is my goal, like my approach with them, and I have this problem that I have managed of that community, so I think a little bit I know that.
So you feed them too.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure they eat.
I don't know if you know that meme with the two Barbies and now kiss. Something that I have noticed with our developer community is that, again, as you said, they don't want to be, you approach with caution, don't bother them too much, provide them with good documentation and let them do their thing. But sometimes some of them would face a problem that they don't know how to solve, and then you know that somebody else in the community knows how to solve that or has the skill, and then you just connect them. You are the connector between them, and this is where a good DevRel comes in. So that's what we do.
Well, I guess we're out of questions. Anyone here wants to do some human interpersonal connection and ask a question from the audience? No? Question? Or are you just calling for time? Yeah, okay.
Where would you go if you weren't in ETH?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Where would you go if you weren't in Ethereum? If you weren't in ETH?
If you want an ETH community.
Well, it's in the ETH.
Oh. Like personally, where would we go?
Solana.
I think Solana for me.
Yeah, I'm already in some memcoin chats, which are like also kind of communities.
I can promise no one's gonna say Cardano.
No. I am, weirdly enough, I am a curator of weird communities, an aficionado, if you wish. I am currently sitting on a community of women in crypto who knit and crochet. And we share patterns and we share pictures of the stuff, incredibly ugly stuff that we knit en route to conferences, but we're all very proud and supportive of each other. So if I were not on an Ethereum community, that's where I would be. And maybe something else, like equally weird.
I didn't really in community before Uber started, so I think I will go back to my previous job.
I don't know. I'm kind of unbiased, so it's more like wherever there's something that people are building that's cool or that I also agree with for the future. I used to run a magic community in Berlin.
Well, I feel like each person can participate in few communities at once, and like I personally just go to the community where I trade currently, so I'm like swinging between. Yeah, so that's my take on that.
That's lovely. And on that note, we can wrap up. So give a big round of applause for our panelists over here.